Hello, hi, dear Swift learners. How are you all? I hope you all are fine, and I, Ritika, welcome you all here at Swift Learn. And today, what are we going to study? I will be telling you, but before that, we will see what is Swift Learn all about. So, Swift Learn, it is India's most sincere learning destination, wherein you get live and interactive classes with 6 students in each batch. Then here, apart from teachers, we also have academic mentor team to guide you and to track your progress. And also we cover your syllabus as per your school exam schedule so that you can do well in your schools also. But wait, there are some of the more key features of SwiftLearn which makes it all the more special. So these key features include detailed progress report. Then we have SwiftLearn academic test series. We have unlimited practice test, which includes 2 categories of subjective and objective. So subjective tests, they will further help you in answer writing in your exams. So please book your free trial class at SwiftLearn and see how amazingly the classes go in here. And if you are new to the channel of SwiftLearn, press the bell icon and subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss out on any video. And if you like this lesson, please press on like button. Okay, so let us quickly start with organic chemistry part number 3. We have been doing 2 parts, and now today we are moving further with the 3rd part, in which we are going to basically learn about alkanes and alkenes. Okay, so we will be learning about their sources, their isomers, what is methane, ethane, how is it prepared, etc. Okay, so basically we are going to focus on alkane and alkene in today's class. And in the first and second class we studied about the carbon compounds, what is organic compound, what is organic chemistry, what is meant by hydrocarbons. We have learned about different functional groups, right? So if you have by chance missed any video, you can go to SwiftLearn channel. The videos are listed there, so it will be very easy to grasp these things. Alright, so let us quickly start. Now, as we learned that hydrocarbons, these are the compounds which are made up of carbon and hydrogen. The name itself is telling hydro and carbon, right? So these are the compounds which are made up of carbon and hydrogen. And there are different type of hydrocarbons that we studied about. Okay, they are having different linkages. For example, some have double bond, some have triple bond, some have single bond, etc. Now, what are the hydrocarbons which have single bond known as? See, for example, this is the hydrocarbon which is having single linkage between carbon atoms. So what are they known as? They are known as alkanes. The hydrocarbons wherein the linkage between carbon atom is a single covalent bond, it is known as alkanes, and it is the simplest hydrocarbon, and the formula of representing it is CnH2n plus 2. So that means if our N value is 1, if our carbon atom is 1, so H, that is hydrogen, it will be 2 into 1 plus 2, it will be 4. So it will be CH4. Similarly, if our value of N becomes 2, so C2 and H, 2 into 2 plus 2, so it goes 6. So C2H6, it is ethane. So this is how we form the alkanes. Now, as all the 4 valencies of carbon, it is satisfied by single covalent bond, it is a saturated hydrocarbon. So when we have a single bond between carbon atoms, okay, the valencies are satisfied by single bonds, it is known as saturated hydrocarbon. Now let us quickly recall this concept of homologous series through this video, and then we will be moving forward.
In this video, you will learn about the homologous series. In this video, you will learn about the homologous series of the alkanes and alkenes and their structure. Before we look at the structure of these molecules, you may wish to recap your understanding of bonding by watching our covalent bonding video. Alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons, meaning they contain only single covalent bonds between carbon atoms. A single covalent bond is a shared pair of electrons. Let us take our first alkane in the series, methane, CH4. Carbon has 6 electrons in total, 4 of these being in the outer shell. Carbon, therefore, always needs 4 more covalent bonds to be stable. In methane, the 4 hydrogen atoms have only 1 electron and so covalently bond to the carbon atom, each sharing a pair of electrons. Methane is known as natural gas and is...
Okay, so let me explain you what was happening here. Since carbon has 6 electrons in its shell, in which 2 electrons are in the inner shell and 4 electrons are present in the outer shell. Now we know that by octet theory that every atom it needs 8 electrons in its outermost shell, either 2 or either 8, to be stable, right? So the carbon in the first shell it has 2 electrons, and now in the second shell it is having 4 electrons. Now it is unstable. Why? Because it is having 4 electrons. Since it requires 8 electrons to get stable, what it will do, since hydrogen is having 1 electron in its shell, hydrogen requires 2, right? So what will they both be doing? They will be sharing their 1 electrons. Similarly, it will be happening with other hydrogens. Okay, so what is happening over here? Carbon also gets 8 electrons to finish up its octet, and all the hydrogen atom they get 1 more electron to have 2 electrons in their outermost shell, and this is how they both get stable. Let us move further in the video.
It's often used as a fuel in homes for heating and cooking. It is also the gas released by cows by belching and flatulence, as it is produced by the fermentation of food by bacteria in their stomachs. The next molecule in the homologous series of alkanes is ethane with 2 carbon atoms. As you can see, a single covalent bond is formed between the 2 carbon atoms, with 6 more hydrogen atoms covalently bonded to complete the molecule. Now we understand the way these molecules are bonded, we can show the next molecule in displayed formula, representing the covalent bonds simply with lines. Here is propane, followed by butane. This alkane series continues and follows the general formula CnH2n plus 2. A general formula allows us to describe a series of molecules that differ from each other by a constant unit. Let us look again at ethane, using the formula CnH2n plus 2, where N represents 2 for the 2 carbon atoms in ethane. We can see that the number of hydrogens will be 2 multiplied by 2 equals 4, plus 2 equals 6. So 6 hydrogens, C2H6. Using this, we can find the molecular formula of other alkanes. For example, decane, an alkane with 10 carbons. Pause the video now and use the general formula to work out the structure of decane. You should have got the answer C10H22, where N equals 10 for the 10 carbons, therefore 10 multiplied by 2 equals 20, plus 2 equals 22, 22 hydrogens. Let us look now at the homologous series of the alkenes. These are unsaturated and so contain a double covalent bond between 2 carbon atoms. Here is ethene. Since there is a double bond, there are now 2 shared pair of electrons between the 2 carbon atoms. Each carbon atom now has only 2 electrons, which covalently bond with a total of 4 hydrogen atoms, 2 on each carbon, to complete the ethene molecule. You are only likely to come across alkene molecules with just 1 double bond, although there can be more within a molecule. The next molecule in the series is propane. As before, there is a double covalent bond between 2 of the carbon atoms, but the other is just a single bond. We now need to fill the molecule with hydrogen atoms, to ensure that each carbon has a total of 4 bonds. 2 hydrogen atoms are required at this end of the molecule. This middle carbon already has 3 bonds and so requires just 1 hydrogen, and at this end carbon has only 1 bond and therefore needs 3 more hydrogens. Since we now understand the covalent bonding in these molecules, let us replace the dot cross diagram with the structural formula. Here is the structural formula of propane. Pause the video now and try and complete this structural formula of butene. Here is the completed structure. Did you get it right? Here are the structural formulas of the first 4 alkenes. Pause the video again and try and complete the general formula. What is the relationship between the number of carbons and the number of hydrogens? Hopefully you got the structure CnH2n. Quite simply, there is double the number of hydrogens than the number of carbons. So, as an example for decane, the molecular formula would be C10H20. Now, at the end of this tutorial, you should have a better understanding of the bonding in the alkanes and alkenes and how each homologous series follows the pattern given by its general formula.
Okay, now we have a good understanding of how the bonding is happening between carbon and hydrogen atoms in case of alkanes and alkenes. Now we are going to study about the sources of alkanes, like where are we getting alkanes from. So if I talk about the basic sources of alkane, we get it from natural gas and petroleum. So these are the principal sources of alkanes. And talking about the natural gas, it is mainly composed of methane and it has small amount of ethane, propane and butane. Next, talking about isomers. So we studied in our second session that what is isomers. There is the same formula but the structure becomes different. Now alkanes with more than 3 carbon atoms form isomers. Why more than 3? Because if there is 3 atoms, it cannot form any other structure than this. Okay, even if we do like this, it will be like this particular chain only. So at least we should be having 4 carbon atoms to form the isomers, right? And the various isomers, they show different properties, right? Now talking about the isomers of butane, that is C4H10, the isomer we are having, just a minute. So one isomer is this one, okay, the other isomer it can be this one, right? So the formula remains the same in both the cases, but because of the structure their property changes. Next, talking about pentane. So pentane, it has 5 carbon atoms, okay. First thing is it can be arranged in a straight chain, okay. Next, isopentane. So isopentane means 1 carbon atom, it is attached to the other one, okay. So the name, the IUPAC name will be 2-methyl-butane. Now why 2-methyl-butane? Because the longest chain that we select over here, it will be this one, right? And since there is one alkyl group that we studied, okay, which is attached on position number second. Why? Because we need to choose the position which is having less or the small amount of number. So it will be 2-methyl and butane. Why butane? Because the longest chain has 4 carbon atoms. Again, talking about the another isomer, we can have 2,2-dimethyl propane. Now why 2,2-dimethyl? Because 2 methyl groups are attached, okay. So 2-methyl, so it goes for dimethyl, and longest chain has 3 carbon atoms, which goes for propane. Now here iso, it means that at least 1 carbon atom is attached to other 3 carbon atoms, and neo means at least 1 carbon atom is attached to 4 other carbon atoms. Now we know the molecular formula and structure formula of methane. We also know that molecular formula of ethane, right? Now we are going to study about where do we find methane and ethane. First of all, talking about methane, it is known as marsh gas. So marsh gas, we find it at bottom of marshes, okay. And how do we find it? Why do we find it there? Because the cellulose, it is fermented by a special type of bacteria. Then the animals whose food contains cellulose, for example the cows, buffaloes, etc., okay, so the marsh gas is also present in the air exhaled. And 90% of methane gas, it is present in the cavities in coal, so coal becomes a principal source. Marsh gas, it is contained in intestinal gases and in blood of animals and human beings. Also we can obtain methane by this dry distillation of wood, peat and coal, okay. And ethane, it occurs to the extent of 10 to 20% along with methane. So we also get a quantity of ethane along with methane. Now I am talking about the structure of methane. So the structure of methane, it is three-dimensional, okay. The molecule is three-dimensional and the structure becomes tetrahedral, okay. So this is the tetrahedral arrangement of 4 atoms of hydrogen around a carbon atom. So this is a carbon atom over here and 4 atoms are arranged in such a manner it gives a 3D structure, okay. And because of this, the electrons will have greatest distance between themselves. Now let us see some of the structure of alkanes. Okay, so here first one, okay, so this is propane. Why? Because this yellow colored are the carbon atoms. So since there are 3 carbons, it is pro, and then we have single bond, so therefore it is propane. Second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 molecules, so it becomes pentane because of single bond. And here we have 7 carbon atoms with single bond, so it goes for heptane. Okay, let's move forward. Now, how to prepare this methane in laboratory? So, to prepare methane in laboratory, we require sodium ethanoate, that is also known as sodium acetate. We require soda lime, hard glass test tube so that it doesn't break easily, and Bunsen flame. What are we going to do is we will be taking sodium ethanoate and soda lime in a test tube and we are going to heat that mixture using the flame. So what is the reaction that happens? Yeah, sodium ethanoate will react, okay, and it will be giving us methane, okay. And how we are collecting this gas? We are collecting it by replacing, or we are collecting it by putting a test tube, okay. So this is how the methane gas gets collected here, okay. So sodium acetate plus soda lime, it gives us the methane gas. Next, laboratory preparation of ethane. Again, for preparing ethane, we need sodium propanoate, soda lime again a boiling tube, and Bunsen flame. So we will be having a reaction between sodium propanoate and soda lime. We are going to heat it and we will be getting ethane, okay. Ethane will be collected over here, same as methane, okay. So sodium propanoate and soda lime, when we mix it, when we heat it, okay, in the presence of catalyst and certain conditions, then we will be getting ethane gas. Now there are some more methods of preparing methane and ethane. For example, first one is methyl iodide, or that is also known as iodomethane or ethyl bromide. It is reduced by nascent hydrogen. Nascent hydrogen means we are just freshly preparing this hydrogen, okay, and we are getting the methane and ethane respectively, okay. So when we are reducing it using hydrogen, what we will get? CH4 plus HI. And if I talk about bromoethane, this is also reduced in the presence of nascent hydrogen and we get ethane. Next, talking about methane, we can also get methane by adding water at the room temperature to aluminium carbide. So what is happening when we are adding water to aluminium carbide? We get methane gas. And talking about methyl iodide, when we warm this methyl iodide or maybe methyl bromide with sodium metal, okay, so you can see sodium metal, and here dry ether is present, okay, as a catalyst. So we will be getting ethane, and this particular reaction, it is known as Wood's reaction. Okay, so what is Wood's reaction? When we are heating methyl iodide or maybe methyl bromide in the presence of dry ether with sodium metal, the ethane is produced, and this particular reaction, it is known as Wood's reaction. Now talking about some of the physical properties of methane and ethane. First of all, let's talk about methane. It is a colorless and odorless gas. Same goes with ethane also. It is colorless, odorless, tasteless, and also non-poisonous. The melting and boiling point are minus 183 degrees Celsius and boiling point is 162 degrees Celsius in negative. And the melting boiling point of ethane goes like minus 89 degrees Celsius and minus 172 degrees Celsius. Methane, it is soluble in water. It is not soluble in water, but it is soluble in organic solvents. So that is the thing we saw in our last session also, that these gases are soluble in organic solvents. And ethane, it is again sparingly soluble in water, but it is completely soluble in organic solvents like ether, alcohol or acetone. Now some of the reactions or some of the properties of methane and ethane. First is substitution reaction, means it substitutes. So the reaction with halogens. Alkanes, they actually react with halogens like chlorine, bromine, iodine, etc. in the presence of sunlight to give halogen substituted products. How? Let us see. Now if I talk about methane, we are taking methane here, we have taken chlorine, okay, and in the presence of sunlight, if we make it to react, we will be getting chloromethane. So it will be halogen substituted product with HCl, hydrochloric acid. Okay, similarly ethane will be reacting to give chloroethane. Next is reaction with oxygen. So methane and ethane, they burn in the air and they give this blue colored non-sooty flame, and they form carbon dioxide and water vapor, and there is a lot of heat which is produced. So methane, it combines with oxygen to give carbon dioxide plus water. Similarly ethane also reacts with oxygen to give carbon dioxide and water. Next is decomposition of alkanes. So if we heat the methane or ethane or alkanes in the high temperature or and the presence of catalyst, okay, in absence of air, what do? They break down into lower alkenes or alkanes. Now what we are doing, we are heating this methane in a very high temperature in absence of air, so it converts itself into ethyne. Similarly, heating ethane to very high temperature in absence of air in presence of catalyst, we get ethene plus hydrogen. Now catalytic oxidation of alkanes. In catalytic oxidation, what happens? The alkanes, they give the alcohols or aldehydes or carboxylic acid depending on the condition of reaction. Like whatever conditions we are providing, according to that we will be getting alcohol, aldehyde or carboxylic acid. So what happens when a mixture of methane and oxygen, it is we are taking it in a definite proportion, and if we are compressing it, providing a pressure of 120 atmosphere, and it is passing over copper tube, the methyl alcohol is formed. So if we change the condition, the products will be changing accordingly depending on the conditions. Next is slow combustion. So methane and ethane, they can be treated with oxidizing agents like K2Cr2O4 at high pressure at comparatively low pressure. So what are we doing? We are oxidizing the alkane, and then we are getting the different things. Okay, so this is how it happens. Like alkane, first it gets converted to alcohol, then if we further treat it, it gets converted to aldehyde, then carboxylic acid, and at the last it gets converted to carbon dioxide and water vapor. Okay, so it depends on the oxidizing agent. For example, here we have taken potassium dichromate. So here first it will be converted to alcohol, aldehyde, carboxylic acid, and at the last it will be converting itself into carbon dioxide and water vapor. Next is the use of methane and ethane. So methane, it is a good source of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. So it is used in preparation of methanol, ethyne, chloromethane, tetrachloromethane, methanol, etc. And it is also used as domestic fuel. Ethane, it is also used as fuel and it is used in preparation of ethene, ethanol, ethanoic acid, ethanol, and it forms ethyl chloride. Next is alkenes. So alkenes, they have this general formula of CnH2n, and these are unsaturated carbon because they contain one double bond. Okay. Now CnH2n means what? If there is one carbon atom, hydrogen will be 2 into 1 equals to 2. So CH2. Okay. I'm sorry, if there are two carbon atoms, it will be C2H4. So we will be having two carbon-carbon bonds, and then we will be having hydrogen accordingly. Next is the sources of alkanes. So alkenes, they are very reactive, so we do not find them in free state in nature. So they will be either mixed with some coal gas, some alkanes, etc. And how are they produced? They are produced by cracking of petroleum. Next is isomerism in alkane. Again, alkenes having 4 or more carbon atoms, at least 4 we need to form isomers. So talking about butene, it has 3 isomers. First is but1N, second is but2ene, and third one becomes 2-methyl-propene. Okay, so here the change in position of double bond, and here is the change in alkyl group. So these both show chain isomerism. Okay, and here we are having position isomerism, where the position of double bond changes. Now ethene, it is one of the most basic member of alkene series. So let us study about ethene now. It is the first member of alkene series. Okay, it is also known as ethylene. It is present in natural gas, and also it is occurring in plant hormone, and it is responsible for ripening of food. So that becomes an important question: which member of alkene series it is responsible for ripening of fruits? It is ethene. Next, structure of ethene. The carbon atom, it is attached by double bonds here, and then we are having rest of the single bonds with hydrogen atoms to satisfy the valency. And the bond angle between HCH and HC double bond C is 220 degrees Celsius. 120 degrees. Okay, now talking about preparation of ethene. Now, how to prepare ethene? First method is dehydration of ethyl alcohol. So what do we need here? We need ethanol and we need sulfuric acid. What are we doing? We are taking 1 part of ethyl alcohol and 2 parts of concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay, so the acid should be concentrated and we should be taking it according to the proportion. Now what are we doing? We are heating it up to 160 degrees Celsius. Okay, so what we will be getting? We will be getting ethene gas, and the gas we are collecting by downward displacement of water. And talking about the properties of ethene, it is first of all insoluble in water, and second it is inflammable gas. Okay, so this is the reaction, okay, by which we are getting the ethene gas. Okay, first we will be getting ethyl hydrogen sulfate from ethanol, and then if we keep on heating it, we will be getting ethene. Next is by dehydration, which is usually used in industries. So when ethanol vapors, they are passed through a tube which is containing alumina at 300 degrees Celsius, we will be getting the ethene gas. Okay, so when ethanol vapors, they are heated or they are passed through a tube at 300 degrees Celsius, we get ethene. Next is by dehydrohalogenation. So we take ethyl chloride, okay, we take potassium hydroxide, and when we react, when we give a reaction between them, we get ethene. Next, talking about the physical properties of ethene: colorless, inflammable gas, and it has a kind of odor. Then its boiling melting point is low again, minus 102 degrees Celsius and minus 169 degrees Celsius. Next, again in water it is not soluble completely, but it is soluble in organic solvents, and if we inhale this particular gas, it produces an anesthetic effect. Now, chemical properties of ethene: first of all, addition of hydrogen, which is known as hydrogenation reaction. If we add hydrogen to ethene, okay, in the presence of certain catalysts such as platinum, palladium, okay, at 200 degrees Celsius, we get ethane. So from unsaturated it becomes saturated once. Next, halogenation, which means addition of halogens. So if we add chlorine, bromine, iodine, okay, at the room temperature, so the double bond of ethene to form saturated ethylene chloride, ethylene bromide and ethylene iodide is the thing that we get. Okay, so if we add halogens, we will be getting these things according to the reactions. Next, addition of water. So when we add water to alkenes, we get alcohols. Okay, and the acid should be present over here, okay, for the reaction. So when we are adding water to the ethene in the presence of acids, we get alcohols. And addition of HCl, so we are getting chloroethane. When ethane gas, we are reacting with hydrochloric acid. So ethene, when reacting with aqueous solution of HCl, we get ethyl chloride, which is chloroethane. And if we treat this chloroethane with potassium hydroxide, we get again alcohol, ethanol. Ozonolysis, which is the reaction with ozone. When we pass the stream of ozone through solution of ethene in ether, ethene ozonoid is formed. So taking ethene, passing it through ozone in the presence of ether, we get ethene ozonoid. And next is polymerization. So what is first of all polymerization? It is a kind of reaction wherein two or more molecules of same compound, they are forming a big molecule. Okay, so if we give high temperature and high pressure catalyst to ethene, it will be converting into polymers. Oxidization, when ethene it is oxidized with KMnO4 at room temperature, we are getting ethanodiol, which is also known as ethylene glycol. Okay, so here we are taking ethene, then we are having alkaline KMnO4 solution which acts as an oxidizing agent and it produces ethylene glycol. And use of ethene, one of the most important uses in making of polythene. Then we can convert it into ethanol, okay, which is used in cosmetics and toiletry preparations. It is also used in ripening of fruits and in manufacturing of synthetic chemicals. Next, for the manufacture of detergents, we use a chemical which is known as epoxy ethane, which is again produced from ethene, and then it is used for welding and cutting of metals. So the question now says how methane and ethane are prepared in laboratory, explain with the reaction involved. So here we are preparing it by using sodium acetate and soda lime, okay, by giving them catalyst and proper conditions. Okay, so here we will be getting the methane gas which will be collected here. It is collected by downward displacement of water. Similarly, talking about the ethane, we get it by reacting sodium propanoid with sodium lime, and then we get the ethane gas which is again collected by downward displacement here. Alright, so what are the things we have learned? We learned about alkenes and alkanes, basically their homologous series, their sources, isomers and laboratory preparations. So I hope you might have understood everything that we have covered today. We will be meeting in the next class in which we will be learning a bit more about these organic compounds. And if you have missed out on first and second session, kindly go and see it. It will be very easy for you to catch up in the next sessions. Alright, and also book your free trial class till we will be meeting in our next class. Thank you very much.